Having left our car in Colwyn Bay, we headed down the coast to Bangor, over to Anglesey, around the coast to Holyhead, and then back round to the Menai Bridge, and then down the Llyn Peninsula to the very tip, and then back to Portmaddock, and down the coast to Barmouth, and then round to Dolgelly, and up into back to the car.
Minute 1, setting off from the leisure centre.
We'd always wanted to cycle tour in North Wales, and given the weather forecast, this was definitely the time to go. Hot weather was forecast for the next week, and we couldn't believe it because it started exactly as half-term started. Perfect. Heading along the shore gave wonderful cycling, mostly on a cycleway beside the busy road, and then cycle lanes through forests, and it was just a lovely way to get to Anglesey.
What a lovely spot for our first camp on our North Wales tour, just up on a hill in Anglesey.
Given the lack of steep hills, it was surprisingly hard going heading up the sort of northeast coast of Anglesey. The little narrow lanes wended around, and we were up and down constantly and around corners, and we never really got much speed going, our average speed being only around about 8 to 9 miles an hour. We headed towards Holyhead to find a good spot to camp. And we pitched our hubba up on Penross Park in a lovely spot with terrific views all around. Heading back towards the mainland, we wandered along lovely lanes bordered with early flowers and terrific views of distant North Wales peaks. It was inspiring going, and soon we arrived at the Menai Suspension Bridge and had to deal with the traffic. Just south of Carnarvon we found a lovely spot to camp right on the shore with views across to Newborough Warren, but we were in between plenty of camper vans. We gazed in awe at the sunset from our tent. What a wonderful experience. Heading down the Llyn Peninsula soon became hilly, and we climbed and descended past Neffin to our camp right on the very tip of the peninsula, directly above the cliffs. It was a stunning spot, but we didn't know what sort of weather was heading our way once we pitched our tent literally atop the cliffs. Various thunderstorms rattled in, the first minor, the second much more serious, and great flashes of lightning arced above the tents and struck the sea and the ground nearby. But after the storm, terrific winds came and they knocked our tent severely, such that we had to remove it at 1 in the morning and camp in a nearby cave for the rest of the night. Luckily it was dry. More lovely lanes and bright sun took us down to the shore at Portmaddock and over the causeway, and a lovely view of the Festiniog Railway. At Unce we hoped to get on a campsite for the night to wash off the sweat, but sadly it was full, so we camped on the shore nearby, but we were worried that the tide might reach our tent. Thankfully it only came close, didn't get to us. Over the Barmouth Bridge with the tide sluicing below, we reached a Mordack trail and headed inland. It was lovely going, level with terrific views of the surrounding country. Soon we were heading into the Cody Brennan mountain biking centre, but the trails were wonderful going, mostly gravel, generally easy, but we climbed and climbed and climbed. Lots of young kids pushing their bikes uphill, and then Trish had to push her bike up a very, very steep incline as we exited the valley. A long freewheel down followed, and we gazed as the clouds rushed over the Rhinogs to a lovely pitch tucked inside a little quarry just near Transfinnith. Our last day on the bikes was hilly right from the start. As we climbed up into the hills heading towards Penmacno, up and up we went, the clouds generally dispersing and the sun gradually coming out. It was lovely going, and we had plenty of photo stops as we gradually gained height.
Thank goodness we're going left.
We passed below the rocky cliffs of the peak of Egarneth before a broad top took us to the descent, and we absolutely steamed it down to Penmachno on the last big downhill of the trip, and then followed the Conwy Valley back to our car in Colwyn Bay.